Hello, my name is Jeff Dyke. I'm the founder and CEO of Total Stream Systems. We're providers of Total Asset Manager, a fully integrated data engine that covers the full life cycle of an oil and gas asset and related applications so that your data environment can be rich, integrated, and automated. Today we're going to talk about the cost benefit of automation in the oil and gas operations area. We'll dive into various aspects that can help you define what level of investment is reasonable for your company to invest in order to become more efficient, more streamlined, and more profitable. Let's dive in. As a backdrop to evaluate the benefits of automation in oil and gas operations, it's important to look at where you're at today and also analyze where you would be at without automation so that you know the balance of that investment and what it'll do for you in reality. Automation can always be added over time, but without a certain level of automation and integration in your oil and gas operation, your operation will be inefficient and it will be chaotic and it will not be performing on the assets as well as it could be. So we're going to talk about that baseline and how do you get to that baseline and how do you grow on that baseline. The first step in any automation effort is to have a centralized approach to your data. Because without that centralized approach, you're going to always have further chaotic efforts to get things integrated. This stack of paper is a good example of lack of integration. It leaves you with multiple tasks to do just to get at the information, just to make a good decision and to try to move forward with your operation. In any project and assessment, it's really good to start with the benefits of what you're striving for are so that you can easily identify what the ROI is and what the effect of your company is going to have once it gets to the position that you're desiring. Some of the benefits of centralized asset management are seamless connection to field ops and activity. Just simply being able to connect in real time to what's going on in the field and to be able to communicate between management and the field as to activities that need to be pursued is a significant step in effectiveness with any oil and gas operation. Another one that is often unthought of by management is the streamlined and simplified IT processes that come with a centralized data warehouse as it ties into all your information coming from the variety of sources, whether it's financial or technical. To be able to streamline and have in one place all of the various data processes that have to take place and a way to audit them is tremendously effective in keeping your information together and properly integrated at all times. The third thing that's really a big benefit is the integration between phases of activity and financial performance. When you can look at what's going on in the field, compare it to the financial activity in real time, and also make decisions on technical aspects between disciplines in the field, say between production, completion, equipment usage, and failure rates, then you're going to be able to navigate decisions at a much better pace and with much more effective outcomes. The fourth thing that's really helpful is alignment of all your processes resulting in information that are strategic with the company outlooks. When you can have all your data aligned with the company goals and projects and outlooks, then you're going to make decisions in real time much more effectively and be able to navigate the long-term strategies of your company. The fifth thing is improved visibility of information in real time will allow for improved decision making and profits and also communication to partners and just result in better asset management overall. So those are the benefits to keep in mind as we then go into the phase of identifying the areas that probably need work in your company and what are those phases. So considering the areas of return on investment when you look at your oil and gas technical automation, integration, process, and resource framework. The first one is to think about lower equipment downtime. Downtime is a major cost of loss. You lose both production, you lose the effectiveness of your material on your well, you lose the effectiveness of your manpower. All kinds of things are related to equipment downtime that happens in the field. And so with automation, you can be better on top of issues happening such as compressor maintenance, facility maintenance, pipeline pressures, downhole sensors that can help you let you know what's going on with a well. Tank gauges, other things like that can let you know in advance before even your personnel are on location that you can do something about that situation. And that can be related in real time in the technology frameworks that you set up. It's whether you do that efficiently or not that will make a difference. Another one is better inventory control, not only on the things you have to buy to keep your operation running, if you know and you're on top of your inventory, whether it be equipment or oil and gas inventory in the tanks. When you have real-time inventory information, you can make better decisions with regard to that inventory. When do I sell a tank of oil? Do I need to buy that new pumping unit? Is there anything in the shop that can be used now instead of later? Do I have to buy now? What's the price now versus taking one out of inventory? If I take one out of inventory, what's the condition of that equipment? All those things, when you have that information in real time, it's integrated, and you've automated the things that help you know those inventories and conditions, you will be in better shape and you will have a tangible return on your investment of putting in that technology. A big one that is often underestimated in oil and gas companies is improved resource management. Not only from the people and the equipment in the field, but the time that you have even at the top of your company. From the top to the bottom, resources are improved and streamlined and made more efficient when you have a full well life cycle framework of automation and integration and process and resources identified. Time savings is a big one, but not only that, doing the right things with the right data at the right time, being able to share information through all departments in real time, being able to look at dashboards and metrics comparing company outcomes and goals to actual activity for today in real time. Those are things that just help a company move forward faster, better, and more effectively. We've actually seen with some of our clients the ability to manage many more properties with fewer people than other clients manage without the data and technology and process in place. The other one is direct cost savings on your activities. We've seen many times, because you're tracking AFE costs and estimates coming from the field, we've seen invoices caught that were inappropriate invoices because the field didn't agree with what came into the office, and the office knew it right away because what they entered in the field. All kinds of things come through the cost savings element, as well as analyzing the effectiveness of your technical expenditures through your AFE system and your capital budgeting systems. The other area is regulatory compliance. When you're able to take in real time the data that you receive from the field and translate it into the things that are required for regulatory reporting, and to be able to do it effectively and know that the data is correct, you save a lot of time, money, headache, and possible problems with the regulatory agencies. And the last piece, but the most important piece, is that your production will improve. When you have less time, downtime, better inventory control, people doing the right things at the right time to keep the properties moving, immediate addressing of information coming from the field as issues happen, letting pumpers know ahead of time before they get to a location what might be going on, helping them prioritize the wells that they go to based on the activity that's required to keep the greatest amount of production going. All those things come into play because you have integration, automation, processes, and resources in place. You know, the best case studies are those that have been tested and tried over time and have been proven to be effective and have obtained the results desired. Such is the case when Treadstone came to us as TotalStream 8 years ago and wanted to implement our complete well lifecycle approach to their data. They had just acquired 400 wells in an acquisition in the Eagle Ford, and they had to integrate multiple sources of field activity with SCADA information and production data. They had to also incorporate a whole bunch of historical drilling and well work data from a couple of different sources that the company provided them. All of this was needing to be done in less than 60 days to have it up and running and ready to go, and they also needed to integrate their financial processes with their well work activity processes and AFE management, and that needed to be accommodated fairly immediately in order to plan and work with the activity that they were going to be doing immediately. The other thing that was a challenge for them is they had minimal support outside their engineering and had very few people, and so they needed streamlined processes for the effective data to flow. And so that's the scenario that we were faced with, and that's the beginning of our case study. You know, the strategic solution that Treadstone put in place was to engage the Total Stream Systems LLC team to partner with them to deliver the Total Asset Manager solution to streamline all operation data and activity so that they could obtain the maximum integration of automation for information for their operations. The first step was to establish AIPR principles throughout the entire cycle of information occurring. And that is, anything that we could automate, we would automate. Anything that needed to be integrated was integrated within the framework of the Total Asset Manager system, both financially and technically. The third thing was to make sure that we had good processes in place that minimized human effort and maximized technology to keep information flowing effectively and smoothly, and that those processes delivered the information they needed to the disciplines and people they needed to in real time. And the fourth thing was to make sure that they had the support and sustaining resource to keep this solution up and moving, both from a technical standpoint and a logistics standpoint as a service provider to them. With those disciplines in place, the first step we did was we imported all the historical drilling and well work data from open wells. In order to do that, it took a lot of very key detailed mapping, which we now have in place for almost every competitive offering out there. But we also had to then work through and make sure that the data was workable and good and produced good wellbore diagrams and all of that sort of thing so that they could be as effective as possible as soon as they took over the asset. The next thing that we did was we imported and reconciled all the production data from their Field Direct databases, and we established new production automation processes by tying into their XPOX data system that manages all their automation SCADA data in the field. By marrying the SCADA data systems with our production system, we were then able to automate the SCADA data to flow into the production readings in TAM in order to then produce allocations for accounting and for regulatory reporting purposes, so that the reporting purposes for regulatory were smooth and immediate upon taking over the properties. The fifth thing that we did was we established an AFE and capital budget process that would tie into their financial system so that all of their AFE workflows and budgeting processes were in sync and in real-time step with their accounting piece. That allowed them to look at costs, both actual, estimated, and budget in near real-time ability, which with their aggressive drilling processes and capital spending processes was critical to their success. All of this needed to be streamlined and got up and going within 60 days, but then it had to be in a maintainable solution that it could sustain itself. So we were able to accomplish that, and we got it done, and they went live in 60 days with the full transition of the properties. TotalStream was then able to support and help them maintain and sustain their processes as needed as a technology provider over the next 8 years until they were able to make the sale. You know, the best thing about a case study is when you can identify the true realized outcomes over a long period of time and show success. Some of the outcomes realized by Treadstone were that we were up and running on all processes within 60 days from the start of the project. That was really critical to get off to a very good start and to have streamlined processes in place to be able to grow with. We established those best practices with streamlined processes in those 60 days using the AIPR principles against the TAM database setting. Thirdly, automated daily production eliminated the need for daily pumper readings, which allowed the pumpers to be used for more strategic things that needed to be done to maintain the wells and not so much be just tracking numbers. The integrated information all back to TAM and conducted the allocations and state reports within the timeline with no extensions needed. That saved us in regulatory. Had aggressive drilling and well work programs going right away out of the gate, and all the reports were available and ready, and the AFE processes were already in place so that proper cost management and project management distributions could be made immediately. That helped them to be effective with fewer people and fewer people just slinging and managing data. As a result, they were able to make better decisions with analytics and dashboards that were available with the data that was coming in from all aspects of their operation in real time. That also made their back office processes to communicate that information between disciplines and get various tasks done within the office, especially moving data from the operational environment to the accounting environment or to the land environment. It made it seamless and effective and immediate. Our ability to support them in real time with our real-time support processes and our high level of customer service allowed them to continue these processes smoothly with very little downtime and very little interruption. And most importantly, they grew the asset from over 500 barrels a day to over 13,000 barrels a day with minimal staff and had the supportive on-demand support from TotalStream as needed. They easily divested with maximized value since the information of the asset was clean, consistent, accurate, and showed great growth on the asset. One of the best validations of a case study is when the key person from that project goes to another company and immediately brings our solution into their environment that they're coming into. Such is the case with the testimony you're going to hear from William West, who was the practicing senior engineer and manager for Treadstone, and he's since moved on to senior executive vice president of operations for Empire Oil, who has now 1,500 properties, and his first step was to bring in TotalStream. We're going to now play a testimonial by William West for you to enjoy to see what the culmination of this case study is.
I am William West with Empire Petroleum Corporation. Here at Empire, I am the Senior Vice President of Operations. The biggest challenges that we face with data management and operations is gathering it, and then it's putting it into a database, and then be able to get it back out. Those three simple things. TotalStream has done a great job of working with us strategically to meet our needs and challenges. When we pulled them in for this project, our data was quite frankly in a mess. We needed their help to figure out how to gather it properly. And then we worked together to put it into a database. And now we're in the process of getting the proper reports to run and tweaking the database. They work hand in hand with us. They are very quick to respond to any of our needs. Very prompt and thorough responses. Their implementation team, they don't know the answer. They do get it to you pretty quick. Within their team, it's kind of as one big team, I guess you would say. They share a lot of data across themselves to get you an answer pretty quick, which is pretty nice. The software platform, you can customize it however you want to meet your needs. You're really more the limiting factor than what TotalStream is. You want to tweak it and change it the way it looks or the way it operates. It's got the flexibility to do that, which is really nice because dealing with operations, everyone likes their data different ways, whether it's putting it in or getting it out. And so to be able to have that flexibility for each person to view things their own way helps out. One of the most useful things with TotalStream is that it puts all your data in one place, because so often in oil and gas, you have a bunch of different programs that may be the best at gathering that piece of data, but it's not in one place. And so Where we get better as a company, more efficient, is where we can share data faster. And so with it being in one database, it allows us to share lots of different facets of our business with each other without conversations or different things. People just go pull their data. It's there. I would recommend TotalStream to other oil and gas companies because I do think that they're a small, nimble company, but big enough to meet your needs, to gather data. We're in a data-rich environment. And if you want to have your employees do more work and less data, it's very helpful to have it in one place, and TotalStream helps to achieve that.
So the aspects of Total Asset Manager that are delivered with our entire automation and well lifecycle framework process that embraces AIPR principles are drilling and well work, capital planning, AFE, management, capital forecasting and budgeting, production with allocations and state and regulatory reporting, and full integration to any SCADA system, bringing automated data in and blending it with your daily production as needed. Material equipment inventory and management and material transfer type processes can be automated and brought in as necessary. We have a rig scheduler that can automate your rig schedule and integrate that with your AFE forecasting to give you real-time budget forecasts on your actual activity and your actual schedule in the field. And lastly, one of the things we're very proud of that has been a new addition to our team and our asset management system this year is the Total Asset 360, which will give you public data on any well in the U.S. and will give you a forecasted reserve remaining on any well in the U.S. based on type curves of the area. This also allows us to integrate any data source to give you dashboards on demand, data flow workflows on demand, and many, many more things that are now available with any data source through our Total Asset 360 tool. Thank you for spending time with us today, and if there's any questions, we'll entertain them now. You can leave a message or link through our video here to leave information, and we'll get a hold of you, and we'd be glad to talk about what we can do for you. Thank you.